Good morning, everyone. Do you feel kind of like we're headed toward an election? Do you feel like we're barreling toward it could happen at any moment, right? Who knows? But Elections Canada is now saying that as many as 5 million Canadians will choose to vote by mail. That would be nearly 100 times more mail-in ballots than the 55,000 who mailed it in 2019. Wow, that is a massive, massive increase. And it feels like well, what happened in the US? Do you guys remember what happened in the US? Here is, I was talking about the watermarks on the ballots way back when in 2020. And apparently they're looking for that. Isn't that odd? Isn't that interesting? During I guess there's a recount happening. I haven't been paying too much attention, but I did hear about that. And then yesterday, Joe Biden made some really crazy comments. The last 30 seconds about this in this video, he starts talking about how his wife has been kidnapped by the Navajo Nation and they won't let her come back. And he says, let her come back. I want to visit her. It's a really interesting, weird situation to watch. I was watching it last night before I went to bed and I was like, what? Anyway, and I knew that he was supposed to make a gaffe there, but I don't know. Those are the last two links, just in case you're looking for those links. Okay, getting into governance and moving on from elections. Conrad Black is calling out Erin O'Toole. Erin O'Toole's tacit support for COVID policy has been a grievous mistake. I think that it's interesting how poorly Mr. O'Toole has done at leveraging his base or really any kind of support in the last little while. He's demoted popular MPs. He's I don't know. He hasn't really done much to make any meaningful headway in convincing people that they should vote for him come time to vote for him. So it's a very interesting situation to watch, and it's interesting to watch the media call him out on it. And I don't know if it's not planned, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play into the election. He's already alienated his base. That's on him. The media pointing it out is responsible, I suppose, but it's will that lead to a Trudeau majority? I mean, it's O'Toole's failure that will lead to that. But at the same time, there are other options. But again, media, influence, all of that other stuff. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Here's another National Post article. Chrystia Freeland's short-sighted, selfish budget. People are upset with the governance. But again, all of our parties are focusing on the wrong things. I've been making the comparison of if you had a flood or a flood in the basement and somebody's priority is to run upstairs and save the curtains. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you spend your time doing that? We've got lots of other things that are being damaged that could be saved, not the upstairs curtains. They're in no danger. Why are you focusing on that, right? Stunning that the CBC, the National, did not air the shocking news that Prime Minister Trudeau's chief of staff knew about serious sexual misconduct allegations against CDS Vance for 3 years until 22 minutes into the newscast with brief reference in Vance's story. Imagine the difference if this was a CPC MP or PM. That, like if it was Harper that had done this, right? They would be calling for his head. He's got to step down. He's terrible. Oh, Harper, PM Harper's terrible, right? A few days ago, the Liberals were blaming Conservatives for this because who else would share a picture of a Liberal MP showing up for work naked? Who, like Trudeau, not his fault. Any tweets from Liberals demanding Bloc MP's resignation? Nope. A Bloc MP admitted that it was him who took the picture, or them that took the picture. I don't know if it's a male or female. I think it's male. Who took the picture, and suddenly that story just disappears. Poof, gone. Right? If it's conservative, they'll drag it through and make as much news as possible on it. But because it's a because it's a Bloc MP, then the Liberals might need to make a deal with them. So we'll just wallpaper over that. New Brunswick's government is bringing in new restrictions at 11:59 p.m., notably isolation hotels, to try and discourage travel into the province. If you are, for example, currently at a resort in Florida and are able to stay home for another month, please do so, says Premier Higgs. Okay, so that's interesting. And here is Nova Scotia. They're going into a lockdown as well in Halifax area and at other parts of the province. This guy's the Premier, I believe. Premier of Nova Scotia, leader of the Liberal Party in Nova Scotia. And so interesting to me, though, I heard, and I believe it's New Brunswick that this is happening in, but the New Brunswick numbers, just before we go to Nova Scotia, the New Brunswick numbers don't actually count people who are actually in the hospital. It just counts people whose home address is New Brunswick and are in the hospital in Quebec. That's what I've heard. I don't know. I can't verify that necessarily. Not yet. I haven't been able to verify that, but I haven't tried hard yet. But that's an interesting story. It was talked about at the news broadcast, or at the press conference where they opened up or where they talked about the new restrictions in New Brunswick. Anyway, very interesting. Anyway, back to the Nova Scotia. Just stay home, says the Premier. What we do today determines outcomes tomorrow, and what kind of summer we will have. Summer? They're going to take our summer now, eh? Yes, that's the plan. It is the plan. Go read it. And we'll talk about Rocco Galati at the end of the show today. The way to beat COVID and stop community spread is to do your part, wash your hands, wear a mask, stay distant, keep your bubbles tight, and get vaccinated when it's your turn. Keep your bubbles tight sounds a little like this is a CRTC regulated show, Mr. Premier, right? That's, I don't know. That seems like a little dicey. And I think that it's interesting that we've been doing this, all of these recommended things for a year. And how has it helped exactly? Because if you say, well, not doing this would have resulted in worse, I've got some comparisons to show you, right? Of places that didn't do that and were not worse. So that argument is moot. Here is the cherry blossoms under lock and key, right? It says no cherry blossom access, or no access to cherry blossoms. We'll bring them to you. We'll bring the cherry bloom. We'll bring the blooms to you. Go to cherry blossoms, right? .toronto.ca. This is the same as the girl with the sliver of sunshine on the floor, right? Here's your cherry blossoms. What, you're not happy, pleb? You're not happy, citizen? Right? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Here, I'll find it on my phone and I'll show you through the internet. Isn't it beautiful? It's the same thing, same experience. Just smell that air, right? Like it's wild. It's wild. This is an absolute national disgrace, right? Disgrace, absolute disgrace. Look at this. The CN Tower and the cherry blossoms and the police making sure that you don't see them in public, right? You don't see them in real life. You have to go to your home and look at them through some kind of internet connected device, please. And we'd really rather that you keep your camera unblocked so we can gauge your reaction and if we've got it just right, right? These are the cherry blossoms from 2017. They were much nicer that year. This year, right? Why not? Just look at the best ones. Here is the disc golf, which is a COVID will get you if you play disc golf, apparently. These garbage bags over Toronto disc golf will serve as an enduring testament to the sheer stupidity of lockdown policy. I'm free to go line up in the liquor store, but having fun in a vast grassy field is prohibited. How dare you? How dare you? It's too fun. Did you pay for these with your own tax dollars? Here is the Peterborough OPP, and they tell parents Children's Aid Society could be called for violations of a stay-at-home order. If a parent is making a decision for a child that is not consistent with this, then we may continue to liaise with CAS on a case-by-case basis. Now, I'll tell you, I worked in children's mental health. I have a very long history with CAS. I've done speeches for Wellington CAS. I've done speeches for CAS nationally as well, or I guess not nationally, Ontario-wide. But regardless, I've got a long history with CAS, and I understand how difficult it is to place children. So making this threat is ghastly. It is absolutely ghastly and would take away resources from people who actually need it, right? And there are people who need situations like that, who need beds for parents who are putting them in unsafe situations. This is ghastly. Having the OPP make this threat against parents is absolutely low-level, ridiculous, unbelievable. I am shocked and appalled at their unbelievable conduct. Just ridiculous. Absolutely appalling. Unbelievable. Here is my lockdown story videos. This is two business owners, and I'm not going to show this. I actually recorded about a half-hour video before realizing I had to restart and update a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I realized that my mic and none of the audio worked. So the video worked, but none of the audio worked. So I'm not going to actually play this video. I did play it in the original video, but I just don't have time right now. So I apologize. But Roman Baber says, introducing one of our first My Lockdown Story videos. You don't need a professional camera. Just record a short video about the lockdown's effect on your health, family, or work. Use hashtags MyLockdownStory, Ontario, Poly, and tag Ford Nation and your MPP if you can. Let your voice be heard. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile to let people know what's going on. 23 hours ago, Doug Ford said, yesterday we learned that 36 cases of the B1617 variant have been detected in Ontario. These new variants didn't swim here. I'm pleading with federal government to stop all non-essential travel to Canada before the new variants overwhelm our ICU completely. I'll talk about that in the Rumble part of the show today. I'll show you a chart, and YouTube doesn't like that, so I won't do it on YouTube. Ford calls for ban on non-essential travel into Canada due to COVID-19 variant first identified in India. This is 22 hours ago, so this is CP24 reporting on what Ford said. 20 hours ago, Bill Blair says, we've prohibited, or 21 hours ago, we've prohibited non-essential travel to Canada for over a year. International travel is responsible for less than 2% of COVID-19 cases across Canada, and the province's own data shows around 1% in Ontario. 1% isn't zero. Is Bill Blair going for a COVID zero goal here? So we continue to add layers of protection to keep Canadians safe. We've told Canadians that we'll be there for them through this pandemic. Over the past year, we've approved nearly 70 requests for assistance from provinces and territories, including 21 in Ontario. We hear you and we'll have your backs. Working together, we will get through this. It's been a year, and the only solution we have, and nobody's speaking out about this, is lockdowns. And now people are talking about closing airports. Like, this is no. It's wrong-headed. I just used the analogy of getting the curtains when you've got a flood, like getting the second floor curtains when you've got the flood downstairs. It doesn't make any sense. This is how much it will help to shut down air travel or shut down travel. Less than 1%, 0.9%, right? It's so maddening. It's so maddening. And yet people just, they'll go along with it because it's for your safety, comrade, right? This person, Sherry DeNova, is a very left-wing person on Twitter. So, and she's blocked everybody. She's blocked so many people. It's crazy. She's like Michelle Rempel. Another school nightmare is students who are in line for sports scholarships, and many schools have taken down the basketball hoops. They've worked for years, and it's an outdoor activity. Mental health, that's Fleecy, unsafe schools. So it's funny, like, she doesn't want people going to school for learning, but she wants the basketball hoops up. I just think it's incredible that schools are taking down basketball hoops in order to comply with the provincial orders. Like, we're round the bend crazy. Like, this is not based in anything that I'm aware of that has been proven to be effective at mitigating anything in the realm of diseases, right? It's wild. It's wild what people are putting up with. Like, this is fine. This is fine. No problems. Yeah, no problems. We'll just buy our own basketball nets. You know, it's no problem. Odysee University is organizing a witch hunt in response to this tweet. First, the tweet they're responding to. Odysee has become aware of a photo of young people showing COVID-19 violation tickets on social media. The university has no way of knowing if those charged are Odysee students. We are counting on our students to share the responsibility for keeping our community safe. Update to our community. We're taking this situation very seriously. The health and safety of our community is paramount. We have now identified Odysee students in attendance and are considering immediate suspension and all other options available under the Code of Student Conduct. This is a witch hunt, and since when did this become like something that you need to announce publicly, right? Like, if there's some students that are misbehaving, then you deal with them in the usual way. They have a right to privacy, right? But no, they don't. No, they do not, right? Very interesting. As well, Google is being ordered by a Canadian judge in Nova Scotia to identify the creator of a website who's criticizing Antifa. And it seems like there's more to this story. It seems like there was a situation where this person is showing wedding photos and like an insider, like, yeah, the wedding to her partner, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, it's a very dangerous precedent to be having the judges order the identity of somebody who's put up a website like that to protect. Is it to protect Antifa, or is it to, like, what's the goal here? I don't know. Very interesting situation, very concerning. But I can't say I'm surprised, again, considering where the federal government is going with Bill C-10, Mr. Gellibo, and the taking down websites that they find offensive, taking down content they find offensive, user-generated content from YouTube, and et cetera. And we've already seen mass censorship on YouTube and all of that. Speaking of, I'm going to head over to Rumble now and finish off the show. So thanks for watching, everybody. Check out CanadaPoly.com. Check out CanadaReport.co. Check out SpeakingMoistly.co. And, I got the wrong one here. And have a wonderful, wonderful day.